and welcome back to the most amazing top 10 channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm talking about the top 10 scary deep web stories. Guys, obviously disclaimer before I start this video, don't go looking into the dark web. It's filled with all kinds of dark and illegal stuff. Instead, just stick to Facebook and Instagram. Speaking of, if you want to connect with me on Instagram, then my link is in the description box down below. Okay, dark web stories. Are you ready? You thought you were ready, but instead you decided to click on that like button. Good on you. Now you're ready? Cool. Coming in at number 10, we have the story of Chloe Ayling. The dark web is used for human trafficking. Unfortunately, that is a simple fact. Now, most of us are luckily ignorant to this, but it is still very much happening. In mid-2017, it seems that a human trafficking group calling itself Black Death lured a 20-year-old model, Chloe Ayling, to a photo shoot in Milan, Italy. The shoot was bogus, and the British model was then snatched, bundled into a bag, drugged, and held hostage by the group. Now, they planned to sell her or claim ransom of 300,000 euros for her. The model was eventually freed 6 days after her capture, and her captors Michael and Lucas Herber were arrested. The Black Death group is a real group of human traffickers who use the dark web to sell sex slaves to buyers in the Middle East. It's disgusting. Okay, this one is a bit of an urban legend. We have Mariana's Web at number 9. Mariana's Web is the name supposedly given to the deepest, darkest parts of the dark web, and it gets its name from Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean. Few have ever gone this deep, so it's hard to bring you confirmed stories, although I will say there are some intense rumors circulating about what this super encrypted site holds. According to a number of urban legends, this is where the darkest secrets in humanity are hiding, as well as the Vatican secret archives, evidence of alien life forms, artificial intelligence, and the location of Atlantis. While a lot of people think that Mariana's Web is pure anecdotal creepypasta, others are convinced it's real. Honestly, pedestrians like you and me will probably never know. Sometimes the dark web meets the mainstream web, and it is terrifying. Let's talk about the horrifying case of Collins Henson, a Vine user captured by a twisted YouTuber. This is all coming into number 8. So you guys may have heard a little bit about this one in our live stream, but I want to go a little bit deeper into this really scary deep web story. Collins Henson went missing soon after he began posting on social media in January 2015. It seemed like he really enjoyed Vine. In one video, Collins shared his adventure to an abandoned mental asylum in Arkansas, which he says was about a mile away from his house. Rather than just sharing some footage of the outside, Collins made the mistake of venturing in. At first he jokes around a bit, but things take a dark turn when he comes across a cow mask, which is really weird. After that, the vines get pretty nasty. Someone clearly has Collins' phone, and he is seen crouching in a corner. Collins is then seen unconscious and is fed pills. People later noticed that Collins' vines correlated to a YouTube channel called Ben's Playhouse. On this channel, which was active before Collins disappeared, viewers were exposed to some creepy stuff, but everyone just assumed it was the usual kind of staged, just for lols creepy. People started putting 2 and 2 together when they saw the cow mask in one of his videos. In a new video called New Friend Mov, someone who looks a lot like Collins appears. It seems very much like Ben has actually kidnapped Collins, but then, around a year later, Collins disappears from Ben's channel, and Ben's seen flying on a plane wearing Collins' red hoodie. After he lands, he is seen stalking a new victim. Horrifying. Who else is lurking on the dark web? No, it's ISIS, and they're recruiting teenage girls at number 7. The biggest terror cell of our generation uses the dark web to ensnare new recruits and also to share their heinous propaganda. A lot of vulnerable young Muslims are groomed online by various sectors of the terror group. For example, in 2015, there was a very high-profile case of 3 girls from Bethnal Green in London travelling to Syria after speaking to ISIS bride groomers online. The 3 teenagers, aged between 15 and 16, fled to never return. While 2 are still missing, Khadija Sultana was killed aged 17. Of course, there was also the case of Samra Kasnovic. She was a 17-year-old blonde Australian girl who became a poster girl for ISIS in 2014 when she converted to Islam and fled to Syria. Eventually she changed her mind, she wanted out, she tried to escape and was stoned to death. Classic ISIS. Of course, as well as grooming, there are a number of ISIS red rooms showing beheadings of their prisoners. Coming into number 6, we have a classic. It is the Pain Olympics. I guess a lot of people my age are pretty aware of the Pain Olympics. It was the dark stuff that was going on when we were growing up. If you aren't aware though, it really was one of the first forays into the dark web. The video, popular on 4chan, shows real life willing male genital mutilation. It's a scary, scary, scary story. Now the videos came from online magazine BME Zine, created by Canadian Shannon Larratt. Larratt was all about body mods, but was also diagnosed as a suicidal schizophrenic. He died of a rare muscle disease in 2013, aged 39. His ball-popping legacy, however, lives on. Again, the dark web really is filled with nasties, and things have only got worse since the original shock videos circulated in around 2002. We have another one from the dawn of the age of the shock vid. We have the horrifying story of Mr. Hands at number 5. Now this story was so nightmarish it actually led to a change in US law. Kenneth Pinion was a Boeing engineer from Washington who was a secret dark web zoophile. The 45-year-old shared violent bestiality images in dark web forums under the name Mr. Hands. Inspired by the zoophile community in the deep web, Pinion wanted to make a sex video and dreamed of being penetrated by a horse. In the early 2000s, he became part of a dark web group called Zoos. Now these guys began meeting up at farms in order to engage in illicit relations with farmyard animals. In the end, he encouraged one of his zoo friends to film a video with him and a stallion on a farm in Gig Harbor, Washington. Now the video is now synonymous with the dark web, and it shows him engaging in sex with a horse. Afterwards, he unfortunately dies of his injuries. This is horrifying, and actually, Pinion's tale is a scary one as much as it is a sad one. It seems that his perversion came after a motorbike accident, after which he turned to the dark web. Following his death, the law was changed in Washington state, making bestiality illegal. Can't believe it wasn't in the first place. This is horrifying. At number 4, we have Daisy's Destruction. A whole heap of urban legends exist about red room sites on the dark web. Red rooms are allegedly pay-per-view snuff and abuse movies or live videos. Basically, people pay to watch people being tortured, murdered, or sexually abused. For people like you and I, these red rooms are pretty hard to find, but if you're au fait with the dark web and you know where to look, apparently you can get there. One example is the case of Peter Scully, who set up a company called No Limits Fun and a site called Daisy's Destruction. Here, a baby girl was tortured by a naked woman, and viewers were charged up to $10,000 to watch the content. Very, very sick. Scully ran the dark website from the Philippines and apparently managed to obtain the children by promising their parents food and money. Before he was caught, he lured in an 11-year-old who was made to dig her own grave and was then buried alive. The fact that people like Australian-born Peter Scully exist is definitely terrifying, but the scariest thing about the whole story is that so many people paid to watch this content, making abuse and murder a viable business option for the psychopath. Coming into number 3, we have How to Cook a Woman. Ugh, goody. On an Ask Reddit, someone posed the question of what the worst deep web story they'd come across was, and one person revealed that they'd stumbled upon a fetish cannibal site. Of course, there are heaps and heaps of cannibalistic content, but one Redditor, Bacon Boy Loiter, said that one day they were messing around with their friends and accidentally came across a comprehensive guide to cooking women. They wrote, "We're not talking about a short joke here. This page had information on what body types to use for specific cuts, how to prepare these cuts, and how to cook the girl so she lives as long as possible." Grim. In 2012, it was revealed that a 28-year-old NYPD officer was using the dark web and encrypted messages to conspire to kill a number of women he planned on eating. His messages were then documented and made public, and it seems that by accessing the dark web, he knew that he could get around 75 pounds of meat off a woman, and he planned to cook her over a low heat to keep her alive as soon as possible, which is actually really, really, really awful. Building on from that, we have this story of a man who willingly sold himself to a cannibal at number 2. 43-year-old computer technician Bernd Brandes placed an advert online on the dark web offering himself up to be eaten alive. 42-year-old Armin Maives responded to the advertisement in 2001 after a number of years spent on cannibalism forums. Soon the pair embarked upon one of the darkest, most sensational cannibal stories of modern history. Before meeting, the pair liaised on the web. Brandes and Maives had sex, but afterwards the cannibal ate him. Now after his arrest, the cannibal described how he consumed his willing victim. He said, and I quote, "I decorated the table with nice candles. I took out my best dinner service and fried a piece of rump steak, a piece from his back. I made what I called princess potatoes and sprouts. The pair also ate Brandis's penis together. Eventually, my vice finished off his victim, chopped him up, filmed a large portion of the murder. Because his victim was willing, the cannibal was only jailed for just 8 years and is now free. Ironically, he's now a vegetarian. Finally, coming into number 1, this really disturbed me. This is a real-life gritty and ongoing horror story. Beware the terrifying tale of bug chasers and gift givers. This is very, very dark. Out there on the deep web, there is a subculture of people who want to infect people with HIV, and also a whole bunch of people who want to be infected with the disease. These people use dark web forums to find one another and organize their rendezvous. Of course, knowingly infecting someone with HIV is a crime, and wanting to receive the disease is akin to a slow-burning suicide. This subculture is mainly comprised of, but is not limited to, homosexual men. The issue is apparently especially prevalent in Denmark, where there is a strong barebacking fetish scene. According to members of the scene, having unprotected sex with an HIV-positive person is super arousing for them. Bug chasers will have sex with a number of HIV-positive people dubbed as gift givers in the hope of catching the disease. Now, sometimes the tryst will involve just one partner at a time, but other times the bug chaser will engage in sexual activity with a whole handful of gift givers in one evening. While in itself this is exceptionally problematic, often this can lead to a person contracting several strains of HIV, super HIV, which makes treating the illness nigh on impossible. Some postings on bug and gift-giving sites read like this: 18-year-old twink bug chaser looking to get posed, or after months of chasing, I tested pos. High viral load, looking for neg bottoms to infect. Grim. One of many issues in the dark web bug chasing sites is that while they say that those that enter have to be 18, many younger people are joining and exposing themselves to this absolutely toxic and dangerous subculture. So guys, that was the top 10 scary deep web stories. Which of these did you find the scariest? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before I go, I just want to read a few comments from a previous video I did about scary train urban legends. Our top comment was from Nightmare Files, who said, make top 10 ghetto urban legends. Good idea. The Hamster Army wrote, the Australian one seriously scared me, even though horror is my daily life and has been since I was 3. Since you were 3? Why? 3? It's too early for horror. So guys, this was a bit of a disturbing video. What did you find the scariest thing? Also, what would you like us to make next? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, share this video with a friend, and stay subscribed for more top 10 lists. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and I'll see you next time.